Hi, I'm Mark Brandusky, G-Force Intelligent Lifting Device Product Manager for Gore Bell. Thank you for joining us for today's video, and welcome. What we're going to be talking about today is the 660-pound capacity Easy Arm. We're going to give you all the information that you need to apply the 660-pound capacity Easy Arm to your specific need. And we're also going to demonstrate the ergonomics and ease of movement in varying load weights with the Easy Arm. Applications that the Easy Arm, the 660-pound capacity Easy Arm, are very well suited for are applications such as automotive chassis and powertrain components that are heavier than 330 pounds, which is the next model down of our Easy Arm product line. Also heavy equipment manufacturing, such as construction and mining equipment. Those types of components that go into those machines are extremely heavy, and a lot of times you are not able to get to that application with anything less than a 660-pound arm. Also aircraft engine assembly and component manufacturing, such as machining operations, are fantastic for the Easy Arm. And oil and gas, the tubing or the piping, the drill heads, the valving, all big heavy components. Those are some key industries that this will fit nicely into. Little recap on the entire Easy Arm product line. So we have the 165-pound capacity Easy Arm that opens up the product line. Then the next model we go to is the 330-pound capacity Easy Arm, and this, what we're talking about today, of course, is the 660-pound capacity Easy Arm. The key features of the Easy Arm product line are superior ergonomics. As you'll see with this 660-pound arm and all the Easy Arms, you'll notice the actuator, the part of the lifting device that has all the weight to it, is mounted at the top of the primary rotation point of the Easy Arm. That means the light ergonomic arm can be used for that superior ergonomic movement and lifting, and that is one of the key features. Also, the price point on the Easy Arm is very attractive. When you compare an Easy Arm to a floor-mounted manipulator, the Easy Arm is a much more attractive price point. Also, ease of installation. As opposed to, since this is a jib-based solution with one column in the floor, you will have the ability to just put one column in, and this is, we'll talk about a little bit more down the road here in the video, this is a foundationless type of system up to a certain span. So you can put this into a regular reinforced concrete floor, and there's only one column in the floor instead of the multiple columns you would need to put a full-blown crane system in. Also, the spans for the Easy Arm product line, the 165, 330, and the 660 go all the way up to 14-foot span and up to an 11-foot height under hook. Height under hook is defined as in the full-up position, the distance from the bottom of the hook to the floor. So all the Easy Arms go to a full 14-foot span and 11-foot height under hook, giving you quite a bit of coverage area with the Easy Arm product. So what I'm going to do now is show you in a couple different load-weighted situations how easy the arm actually does move. And what I'd like to do first of all is take the Easy Arm and show you in an unloaded state. In an unloaded state, we can move this arm, and you would think because of the larger structure of the Easy Arm it might be bigger and bulky, but you can see that I can move this around with relative ease in the unloaded condition. So if the operator is moving around and has to move the arm, especially if they're only moving the primary or the secondary arm as I am right now, the ease of motion is very good. And then what I'll simulate next is this 60 or so pound weight here. We're going to pick this up and simulate that the operator using this would have some sort of end effector tooling here. This will simulate an end effector tool on here. End effector being the part of the system that actually grips or grabs the product so you can lift it. So now if I'm loaded with a light, relatively light end effector, I can still move around, and this 60-pound moves around very easily as well. You'll see the arm is very easy to move back and forth in all aspects. So very good ergonomics there. And what I'm going to show you next is lifting up closer to a 500-pound load here. Now, you'll notice when I lift this product, this load weight, and I move it around, I have to move a little bit slower. The arm still moves extremely easy. The ergonomics of the arm maintains that feature, that benefit there is still there. But you'll notice with 500 pounds, you have to start and stop a little slowly, a little more gradually, because the load weight in this situation is kind of the limiting factor as to how fast you can move. But you can see with relative fingertip force, I can still move this around, and that arm really does move very, very ergonomically. What I'd also like to show you is our float mode feature. Now, as we talked about with the rest of our product offering, the entire EasyArm product line will have the float mode feature. So what I'm going to show you here is available with all the EasyArms, whether it be a 165, a 330, or a 660-pound capacity EasyArm. What float mode allows you to do is lift the product up, and even at a 500-pound load weight, I can press a button and go from the control mode where I grab onto the handle to the control mode where I actually just use a little bit of upward or downward force, fingertip force, and I'm able to position that piece up or down. So if you go back to some of those applications we were talking about, like aircraft engine assembly, you could pick up a very fragile part that has to be precisely positioned for assembly at a specific point in an aircraft engine assembly process, and you have the ability to have very positive control over that part and put it right where you need it. So we did talk a little bit about the foundationless nature of this product. Now, I would like to get into what the columns are going to look like in the different spans. So up to 10-foot span, this will be a 14-inch diameter column, and you're going to have a 6-bolt pattern hex base plate to mount to your floor. Beyond 10 feet, so once you go over a 10-foot span, you're then going to move up to a 16-inch diameter column, and your hex base plate will get larger, and you'll have a 12-bolt hex base plate on that model. So under 10 feet, 14-foot diameter, 6-bolt hex base plate. Over 10 feet, you're going to have the 12-bolt bigger base plate with a 16-inch column. So a couple other differences we want to focus in on that are different between the 660-pound model and the 165-pound and the 330-pound model. And the first one we want to talk about is the pulleys. You'll notice the pulleys at both the knuckle and the end of arm here are going to be much larger than you see on the 165 or the 330 models. That's because the wire rope on the 660 unit is a full 1/4 inch. On the 165 and the 330, it's a 3/16-inch wire rope. So with that increase in diameter comes an increase in the pulleys. So the pulleys get larger, and that's to optimize wire rope life. You'll also notice at the knuckle pulleys here, there is a meshing design with that larger pulley that makes it so the wire rope at the center of those pulleys cannot jump out from between those two center pieces. So that's some of the wire rope optimization that we did to make sure that your wire rope lasts a long time. Also, at the end of the arm, you'll notice there is a pulley. Now, on the 165 and the 330, that pulley is static. It's just on a simple axle, and it rotates around a single axle. And the 660-pound arm, because we have these larger pulleys at the knuckle point here, when you bend the arm and that wire rope wraps around a larger diameter pulley, it creates an angle coming into the end of arm pulley. In order to accommodate for that, you're going to notice that there is a swiveling, articulating feature of that pulley that allows that pulley to track with that angle based on the bend of the arm. Also, you'll notice that on the top of the arm there are some wire rope guides that you're going to see on the 165 and the 330 arms. You're going to see some plastic bails that go over the top. They just keep the arm, make sure that the wire rope doesn't droop off the side of the arm. On the 660-pound capacity arm, we actually added these wire rope guides. They allow that wire rope to feed in and out of that articulated end of arm pulley and back into the actuator very evenly, again optimizing wire rope life. Okay, so another difference between the 660 and the 165 and 330s is the 165 and 330-pound EasyArms. You'll notice the actuator would mount horizontally. Now, on the 660, you'll notice that the actuator mounts in a vertical orientation. The reason for that is, again, goes back to those large diameter pulleys and the angle that's created back into the actuator when you bend the arm in different positions. So that angle, in order to accommodate a more parallel feed onto the drum, we rolled that actuator to a vertical position, again optimizing wire rope life. Now, in that vertical position, it's a little less easy to do wear rope changeouts, get access to the top and bottom covers. So we've added as a service feature where you can pull a single pin and roll that actuator into a service horizontal position that mimics the 135 or the 165 and the 330 easy arms. So that will allow ease of service, and so we put a lot of thought into not only the functionality of the arm, but also the servicing of the arm. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up the 660-pound capacity easy arm. Thank you for joining me for today's video. Once again, I'm Mark Grandusky, and we'll see you for other videos, but I would encourage you to go back through our library of videos on Gorbel.com and browse through the other features and benefits of the Easy Arm product line, because all those features and benefits, besides the differences we talked about here, carry over from the 165, the 330, and 660. So the float mode that we showed, plus all the other features that are available in those different videos, will also be available with the 660 Easy Arm. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the next video.